DC has pulled the trigger on a new animated series called the Creature Commandos, courtesy of Gunn and Safran. But who the hell are the Creature Commandos anyway? I mean, I know, because I like obscure and random off-the-wall DC characters nobody's ever heard of. But I doubt most people have. In the coming weeks, I expect people will want to get a better idea of who these characters are, and for that, I want to start with one of the more famous members on the team, a pop culture icon who also happens to be one of the oldest characters in DC Comics. He's a monstrous creature brought to life by the mad scientist Victor Frankenstein and has been involved in stories in the DCU for decades. With his superhuman strength, Frankenstein is a force to be reckoned with, but his true horror lies in his tragic past, filled with death and destruction. Join me as I dive into the dark world of Frankenstein and discover his history in DC Comics. Frankenstein, the classic monster created by Mary Shelley in her 1818 novel, has been a cultural touchstone for over 200 years. In that time, the monster has appeared in numerous stories and movies, including one of the earliest Hollywood horror films. The character of Frankenstein's monster was first brought to the silver screen in 1931 with Boris Karloff's iconic portrayal, but it wasn't until 1948 that the monster was given new life in DC Comics during his first appearance in Detective Comics issue number 135. In the comics, like the novel, the monster is brought to life by a scientist named Victor Frankenstein who is horrified by his creation and abandons him. From here, we have a couple different versions of the character. A character named Ivan, referred to as Frankenstein's monster, first appeared in Detective Comics in the 1940s. He was Dr. Victor Frankenstein's large and lumbering assistant who was returned to life following a huge electric shock. Another version, more in keeping with the origins of Mary Shelley's original character, fought the Phantom Stranger, and yet another version, a more heroic variation, met with the young All-Stars before emerging from the shadows in Seven Soldiers and Creature Commanders. This Frankenstein set the stage for the current incarnation of the character. As a member of the Creature Commandos, Frankenstein fought alongside other classic monsters, but it wasn't until the 1990s that the character was given his own solo series, in which he struggled to come to terms with his own humanity and find a place in the world. Frankenstein was also featured in Seven Soldiers of Victory series, written by Grant Morrison, that served to modernize the character more akin to how he is presented now. After Flashpoint, Frankenstein is now a former superhuman advanced defense executive agent, SHADE for short, and a reluctant member of the Justice League Dark. Accidentally created with a conscience, the seeming brute turned on his creator Victor Frankenstein, freeing prisoners scheduled for experimentation. Afterwards, the creature left to explore the world and confront the nature of his origins. He still cannot decide whether he is alive or dead. Calling himself Frankenstein, he finally gained purpose in life after being recruited by SHADE commander Father Time, fighting in both World Wars and the Korean conflict, often supported by the Creature Commandos. He wed Lady Frankenstein, another SHADE agent, known as the Bride of Frankenstein. But tragedy followed, as she was forced to kill their son when he proved to be twisted and evil, ultimately begging for his own death. The marriage fell apart, but both continued working for SHADE, saving the world from many horrific threats. Frankenstein also fought along Swamp Thing against the Rot and in the Trinity War as part of Justice League Dark. Frankenstein himself is a powerful hero and is capable of many things due in part to his creation. But before that, if you enjoy what you're seeing, hit that like button, and for more DC stories, why not subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. But for now, let's get back to Frankenstein. Frankenstein is not just another classic movie monster. He also has some impressive powers and abilities that set him apart from others. Being an undead being, Frankenstein is immune to aging, disease, and most forms of injury. Frankenstein can replace damaged or missing limbs with grafts taken from individuals of a similar build and adapted to his unique physiology. He also has superhuman strength and endurance, allowing him to lift heavy objects and withstand extreme temperatures and other harsh conditions. Frankenstein has been portrayed with various abilities throughout the comics. In some comics, he is shown as a skilled hand-to-hand combatant, and in others, he has been portrayed as having superhuman agility and reflexes. In addition, Frankenstein has been shown to possess a certain level of intelligence, being able to understand and use technology, and even build gadgets and machines. He has mental access to the SHADE database via a surgical implant. Frankenstein's powers and abilities make him a formidable opponent in battle and a valuable ally to any team he joins. And this has been proven true as he's appeared in many teams and storylines over the years. Although in recent years, Frankenstein has made several appearances in comics and graphic novels, adding to his already long history in comics. One of his most recent appearances was in the Justice League Dark series, where he joins a team to take on supernatural threats. He also appears in Dark Knight's Dark Metal event. Frankenstein is recruited by Batman to help him defeat the Batman Who Laughs and his Dark Multiverse versions of Batman. Frankenstein also appeared in the Dark Crisis event, Heroes in Crisis, and part of the Gotham City Monsters. He is set to appear in the new animated series Creature Commandos, currently being developed as part of the Chapter 1 era of the new DCU. Thanks for watching, and as always, have an awesome day. To see more on the occult side of DC, click on this playlist right here.